Ma'am, you're in the wrong place. This is a military training range, not a sightseeing spot. A chorus of amused laughter rose from a group of young soldiers as a small woman stepped onto the concrete bay wearing a silver windbreaker. She didn't say a word. Quietly, she walked to the digital target selection console, placed her palm on its scanner, and waited. The machine hummed, its indicator lights turning crimson. Call sign Widow Mark reactivated. Silence swept across the range like a sudden winter chill. Her name was Maren Weiss, 35 years old, European, long black hair tied into a low ponytail, her delicate frame clad in simple jeans and that silver windbreaker, carrying a battered leather satchel that had clearly seen years of travel. She arrived at the Western Training Center with a civilian pass, officially registering for casual shooting practice. The facility bustled with activity, military contractors, police officers, weekend hobbyists, all sharpening their aim. "Have you ever fired a gun before?" asked Corporal Jenkins at intake, scanning her ID. She gave him a soft smile. "Not as often as you'd think." Behind her, a few soldiers chuckled. Private Rodriguez, barely out of high school, nudged his friend. "If she even hits paper, I'll do kitchen duty for life." Maren simply stood at the back, silent as dawn fog, slipping leather gloves onto her hands. Her posture was calm, her gaze relaxed, but the way she carried herself hinted at worlds far removed from this civilian setting. The group behind her kept whispering, one at her slim arms. "She even strong enough to hold an M4 steady?" Another laughed. "Bet she's here for Instagram reels. Probably wants a gun selfie for her followers." Sergeant Miller snorted. $20 says she can't even load a mag without jamming it." She said nothing. Her stillness grew heavier by the minute, but their mocking chatter drowned out the warning their instincts should have felt. She scanned the room, exits, positions, cameras, weapon racks. Her assessment took mere seconds. The range supervisor, Carson, a broad-shouldered man with 3 decades of service, frowned at her registration. "Long-range practice? That's advanced, miss. We got some nice .22s more suited for beginners." "I'll manage," she replied softly, her voice steady with an unplaceable finality. "Your money," he shrugged. "Just don't point it at anyone. And don't blame us if you can't even nick the target." Laughter rippled around again. Maren's gloved fingers traced their seams lightly. Nervous habit or something deeper. The gloves were worn smooth from years of disciplined use. CTA Comment Act 1. Have you ever seen someone skilled being underestimated? Type so unfair if yes. When her turn came, she didn't choose a rifle off the display wall like everyone else. Instead, she approached the biometric control panel and pressed her hand to it. The screen flickered, the system whirred with confusion before its lights switched red. A quiet alarm chimed. Biosignature match confirmed. Widow Mark. Status reactivated. A staff member nearby turned white. Widow Mark? That's a deep operations call sign, isn't it? I thought it was just a myth. Lieutenant Colonel Hayes, busy in the adjoining office, came striding out at the commotion. His face drained of color when he saw her. You're the sole survivor from Red Zone Sector 4. The air changed instantly. Whispers grew. She's the ghost. The one who led her team out of hell, then disappeared. The soldiers who mocked her froze mid-laugh. Carson checked his monitor, his fingers trembling. "Ma'am, these files are classified military protocols. It shouldn't even recognize civilian biometrics." She glanced at the screen, expression unchanging. Sometimes systems remember what people erase. Staff Sergeant Martinez, a veteran instructor haunted by missions that never made the news, stepped closer. Widowmaker, solo operators sent on impossible tasks that weren't supposed to exist. The monitor kept updating. Last active, 2012. Mission status classified. Survival rate, 100% for allied personnel. Threat assessment, maximum. Private Rodriguez stepped forward, his voice cracking. "Ma'am, I'm sorry. We didn't know. You weren't supposed to, she replied gently. That's what kept you safe. Around her, the range felt smaller, like everyone was standing in a cathedral of secrets. Martinez scrolled through redacted files with shaking hands. Says here you led rescues in blackout zones where satellites couldn't even connect. How is that possible? She replied quietly. You adapt to the darkness. You learn that the missions that matter most are the ones no one will ever hear about. The computer beeped again, unlocking protocols hidden for over a decade. Tactical scenarios authorized. Advanced training available. Carson's eyes widened. These are beyond my clearance. I can't even read them. Hayes' voice dropped low. Those are for when conventional tactics fail. Operators who enter hell alone and don't expect rescue. CTA Comment Act 2. Have you ever misjudged someone? Type I was wrong if yes. Marin removed her gloves, revealing palms marked with calluses and thin scars that told stories of countless hours holding rifles and steel. Without checking specs or balance, she picked up a standard-issue long rifle. I just want to see if I can still keep an 800-meter grouping. The room fell silent. Hitting at 800 meters wasn't hobby shooting. It was elite sniper territory. Over 10 minutes, she fired 6 rounds. Each round punched through the center target with the effortless rhythm of muscle memory, so refined it had become reflex. Tactical pattern detected. Widow mark confirmed. Shooting signature matches historical archive. The Olympic-level shooting instructor stepped forward, eyes wide. Technique 7, ghost pattern. That was you. She didn't answer directly. I don't keep achievements. Just the habit of not letting teammates die. As staff accessed hidden archives, classified fragments revealed her past. Commander of Wolf Echo, Deep Ops. 0 friendly casualties across 14 high-risk missions under her command. The unit was deleted from records when no survivors were confirmed after their last operation. Until today. How is that possible? Carson whispered. She set the rifle down gently. You learn to see death coming before it sees you. Sometimes the only way to save others is to walk alone into the dark. Private Rodriguez, now pale, stammered, Ma'am, what happened to Wolf Echo? Her gaze turned distant. We were extracting a diplomat's daughter. Intel was bad. It was an ambush. I ordered my team to retreat while I drew them away. 3 days later, I emerged alone. By then, I'd been declared Kia. The screen flickered. Mission report. Extraction successful. Civilian casualties. 0. Friendly casualties. 0. Operator status. MIA presumed Kia. Hay spoke with quiet reverence. You survived, fought your way out alone. Surviving isn't the same as living, she replied. For 12 years, I've been a ghost with no name, no country. Just skills I refuse to let fade. The soldiers lowered their heads in shame, realizing the woman they mocked had carried burdens they couldn't imagine, for people she'd never meet. CTA Comment Act 3. If you owe someone gratitude, type, I'm in debt. Hayes offered her reinstatement, a chance to return to duty and reclaim her official life. She declined. All she requested was a small item from storage, a memorial bullet engraved with asterisk save one person. That's enough. Asterisk had been gifted by her team after their 13th mission, a silent reminder of purpose. Before she left, she penned a note for Carson. If you meet someone quiet, don't laugh. They may have spoken too many truths to those who never returned. The silent ones have often screamed the loudest when it mattered. A week later, shooting range number 9 bore a small plaque, Widow Mark. The operator who needed no orders and left no one behind while she breathed. Those young soldiers never forgot that day. Rodriguez transferred to search and rescue, choosing to save lives rather than take them. Carson kept her note in his desk, reading it whenever he felt judgment rising. Martinez updated the training manual before retirement. Remember, the quietest person in the room is often the most dangerous. Not because they hide evil, but because they've faced more darkness than you'll ever understand. She never returned, but her record remained active. Late at night, Martinez would wonder where she was, hoping she'd found some fragment of peace. But he knew, people like Maren Weiss never truly retire. They just find new shadows to stand watch in, guarding the living from silent threats. Hayes filed a final report recommending widowmaker protocols be preserved for operators like her. The response was brief. Understood. Others like her are being watched. Her legend lived on, not in official medals or commendations, but in hearts that understood true heroism never sought recognition. It simply chose to act. CTA Comment Act 4. Type, I will live with kindness if you believe silence is the highest medal. Maren never raised her voice, but her quiet presence alone awakened truths long buried. Some warriors never tell their stories. They return only to ensure others can keep theirs. In this loud world, if you meet someone who speaks little, remember, they may have saved more lives than you could ever count. Live with kindness. Never laugh at those who seem small. True heroes don't need to prove it. They just live it silently when no one is watching. Remember Maren Weiss. Strength isn't always loud. Courage isn't always obvious. And the most crucial battles are fought by those whose names are never spoken. Be kind. Someone's life may depend on it.